I felt a little bit better about the loss because I had a target to pound, and that was Robert Saleh. Nothing personal, but it was easy to just take the loss and then rechannel, like redirect it, and feel, I know it sounds crazy, feel a little bit better about it. All right, I aired out the grievances. The head coach stinks, and like it got me, I guess, through whatever I had to get through. You know who I'm blaming today? How about the players wake up and actually start doing their freaking job? Breece Hall, all right? Hey, Breece, you tap dancing or are you playing football? Lower your pants. We just watched that play again. You watched it. I was watching with a Hoff on my laptop. He got the ball in midfield. The seam opens at the 40. Guy runs 23 miles an hour, right? First of all, he should have won the race. He didn't. And instead of tap dancing, right, like Fred Astaire, put your pads down and run through somebody's chest. Number one. Mike Williams sucks. Honestly, Mike Williams stinks. I thought Mike Williams fantasy, Mike Williams Chargers. He's terrible. I mean, I know he's coming off an ACL. He's not very good. I don't even think he knows the playbook, all right? Garrett Wilson, he's a stud. Catch the ball in the end zone. You want to be one of the star wide receivers in the NFL, Jamar Chase, and all the other superstars. I know you got hit. I know that was a pop from the front and the back. I get it. I would drop the ball. I'm not an NFL wide receiver. Catch the ball. Ruckert. Catch the ball. And I could just bash everybody. Can somebody explain to me why Ashton Davis, I think Ashton Davis has been here for 10 years, and every time I see number 21, I'm like, this kid stinks. Why is he on the team? They don't tackle. And from the outset of this game, Sal, from the outset of this game,
I want to hear it.
It was so apparent that the Buffalo Bills wanted it more. And it's tricky to identify that as a non-player or as a non-coach. But you guys watched the game with us, going back and forth between the Yankees. I'll tell you how I did the jungle later. I want to hear how you did it as well. Nice job by you, Mets. I'm watching this, right? I'm saying the first series, Buffalo's just... They're destroying the Jets. They're running through them like it's one of those little padded, tackle dummies in training camp. Like the Jets weren't even there. And then still, the big, badass Jets defense, which you always say
there you go.
Is overrated. They had a couple timeouts. They had Allen pinch back, and the first play, they give up 5.5 yards. Set the tone. They get a couple on the next one. They finally got to stop. And then Josh Allen ran for a first down, and it's lights out. Now, I don't know, and right now I don't even care if it's lights out for the Jets season, like whatever. Beat Steelers, the Patriots, whatever. All I know is this team is I hate them. I can't say it anymore. I honestly hate the New York Jets. And last night, and I've never thought this. I've kind of thought it, but I really thought it last night. I said to myself, I mean this in all sincerity. I don't know why I made my poor son a Jets fan. You know we watched the whole game? He stayed up and watched the whole Yankees and Jets, right? Mommy let him. Didn't have much of a choice. He stayed up no matter what. I don't care about school today. He's watching the Jets. Deal with it. And he goes up, and he was broken. Like, he thought 10 different times the Jets were going to win that game, as did I. They should have won the game. The crowd was revved up. And once again, the incompetent, soft, loser Jets show up at the most inopportune time. I'm used to it. I'm not desensitized to it yet, as you can tell by my emotions. But I feel today the season's over.
Do you think you're more upset because you believed in this team and had hope, and they let you down yet again?
There's no doubt. That absolutely ties into it. There's been, I mean, it's been most of the years during this run of, 14 years, no playoffs, 13, whatever it is, longest run in North American team sports without a playoffs. Most of the years, you're like, all right, maybe if this happens, maybe if that happens, maybe if Darnold progresses, maybe if Zach gets better. Like, maybe you hang around and maybe you get into the last month of the season with a chance to be a wild card, maybe. No, this is different.
Yeah, because with other teams, I feel like you would be, and I'm not smarter because I'm not trying to be disrespectful in that way, but with the Jets, there's something there with you that is, you're beyond the unkillable stuff, and you want to believe so much that I think sometimes it does get in the way at least a little bit, like my cataracts that I can't see. Like you have like cataracts with the Jets where you can't see the reality is that this team is a dysfunctional mess. And if it's not one thing, it's the next thing. And while Aaron Rodgers is certainly better than anything we've seen in years as far as the quarterback goes, there's still a long ways to go. Now, you could say that there was a bullcrap holding call on Smith. I don't know how you have holding from the 3-yard line or whatever it is.
God
like, think about that.
I know.
How do you have time a hold.
Yeah.
It's a run play from the 3-yard line, whatever it is. You're telling me there's going to be a holding call on that? It's ridiculous, but that's just one thing. I mean, and then people could say, well, the missed field goals. Yeah, sure, but also the Hail Mary. Like, the Hail Mary, and I know Rodgers has done that before, but that's a fluke thing.
Yes.
The biggest thing for me was that the Jets drove the football, start the game, field goal, okay, all right, whatever, you take it. The damn defense. The defense is supposed to be the strength of this team, and yet they get run right over. And we talk about the Bills and not being the same. They don't have Stephon Diggs. They don't need him because you don't make them throw the football because you can't stop the run. If it's not one thing, it's another. Not to mention the 10 billion flags that were thrown during that disgraceful performance last night from both teams. But the one thing that we kept talking about and heard about, okay, Robert Saleh, maybe his biggest weakness as a head coach, and he had a lot of them, lack of accountability. Was there any accountability? Was there any change in watching a Jeff Ulbrich-led Jets team last night versus a Robert Saleh-led Jets team? If anything, it looked even worse. I mean, my God, BT, it's the same stuff with this team, and it's not going to change until they fix the foundation properly.
They are legend killers. I told you. Like when Piper ended the legend of Jimmy Snuka with the coconut, the Jets end the legend of quarterbacks. They did it to Brett Favre. They're doing it to Rodgers right now. Do you realize, and this is what makes it so much tougher, like if you told me either the day that they got him or at the start of training camp this year or the day before week 1 this year, hey, early in the season, all right, halfway into October, in 3 straight games, Aaron Rodgers is going to have the football with a chance to win the game for the Jets. And I would say, by the way, I got my green sneaker.
Green.
Kick the shoes up. We're good. We're at least 2-1, probably 3-0, 0-3.
And I'll be honest with you. Last night, I picked the Bills, and there was something. The time I got sucked into the Jets was the Viking game. I'm like, this will be the spot where coming off that brutal Denver loss, nobody's really expecting it. It's a 5-0, whatever Viking team at the time. Maybe the Jets will show up, and then they get behind way too early. They come back, and again, just another frustrating performance in a game that they could have won but didn't. It was at that point that I said, I cannot back this team blindly anymore. But even with that being said, that game was there for the taking 19 freaking times over.
Yep.
And right down to that drive, I'm saying, all right, this is where Rodgers is going to, they'll drive. They're not going to rely on the kicker here. They're going to drive the field because Buffalo's defense hasn't been great. The Jets have been moving the football on them. This will be it. And then the intercept, I mean, it's one thing, it's another thing, it's the next thing. It's always something with this damn team. They can't help themselves, even with the greatness of Aaron Rodgers.
Sal, we could sit here for 20 more years, Lord willing, and if Woody Johnson still owns the team.
Uh-oh.
All right.
What happened? Accident? What?
No accident.
What happened?
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Ian Rappaport reports Jets are working on a trade to get Devante Adams.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what my reaction is? Too late. I honestly don't even care. And I know it's not too late, but it feels too late. Great. They'll get him, and, he'll make plays, I guess, and they'll lose by a point.
He's not going to solve anything.
What are we doing here?
Well,
I hate this team.
He'll make the quarterback happier, and he's not going to rip. And by the way, I know we want to get into that and play that cut that we heard with Jerry. Yeah, this is so predictable. Yeah. It's so predictable. You wake up today, you get the Reddick news, which we were going to get to later on anyway, but you hear the Reddick news. Okay, now his agents are requesting a trade or whatever. The Jets said that they
gave him permission.
Yeah, gave him permission to trade. Fine. What do you think's going to happen then? You know what's going to happen. They're going to go try to get Devante Adams. Like, that's going to solve everything. You're 2-4. You're a dysfunctional mess. A wide receiver past his prime, even though he's Aaron Rodgers' best buddy or whatever, is not going to fix it. I'm sorry, it's not.
By the way, thank you, Hoff. It's actually, the wording is completing a trade. So not, it's basically...
It's not working. They're completing a trade for star Devante Adams.
Do we know any of the pieces? Is Reddick involved? Is Mike Williams? And I don't even, I'm getting something. I don't even care. It's a week too late. He should have been out there last night.
I want to help you today.
This is what I mean about the Jets. Everybody knew that he was going to get traded. And now, the game that defines their whole season, I know that they could recover at 2-4. I'm not banking on it. I know that they could. But last night was the night for Devante Adams to be in green and white. And now you're going to get 2-4. All right, so he'll play against the Steelers, win, lose, whatever. It's just, they're so ass backwards, the Jets. Everything that they do is ass backwards. And And I started to say this before, Hoff. Thank you for that, Hoff, about the news. Even though I don't really care, I'm not moved by it that much because I'm still pissed off at this, and I don't think it changes. We could be sitting here 20 years from now, God willing, and if Woody Johnson, hopefully he's still alive and healthy, if Woody still owns the team, it's going to be the same song and dance. The Jets' ownership is awful. That's it. There's nothing else to interpret. It's not about the wrong draft choice at quarterback or the wrong OC or the wrong head coach or the wrong this or the wrong stadium or the wrong turf. It's the wrong owner. That's the problem.
And if I were to ask you why all of a sudden we wake up this morning after what we saw last night, why the Jets got or trying to get Devante Adams now or whatever, completing a trade, why do you think?
I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. Because, and I believe we have the cut. If we can play this, let me just set it up here. Mike Williams ran the wrong route, and Aaron Rodgers basically took the Aaron Rodgers bus and just drove right over him. Let's get a listen to this. Now, it's a little like concept stuff, so it's a little, you got to really pay attention, but there's no doubt he just buried his receiver.
I'm looking at Allen. He puts his hand up. 3 guys go with him, so I'm throwing a no-look to the red line. And when I just peek my eyes back there, he's running an inbreaker. So... it's got to be down the red line.
So were you throwing that to come back to it?
No, I was throwing it to the red line, but when I got to about here, I realized he was running an inbreaker, so I had to kind of adjust it a little bit. But the play is 2 guys vertical, 1 guy down the seam, 1 guy on the red line.
Okay. Listen, 2 vert, 1 seam,
red line,
red
blue line.
Bottom line is, I threw it where I was supposed to throw it, and my wide receiver left me hanging. He ran the wrong route. Get rid of him.
But for me, it's the owner.
It really is.
I think the owner who said he fires Robert Saleh.
I can't even look at this Jets helmet.
Yeah, I get it. What do we got? B, let me give you the play. Oh, that stupid thing. Yeah, just don't throw it in my direction. So
get this out of here.
The owner,
Jets helmet.
The owner, he fires the head coach and says that I expect the wins to start happening like now. They lose at home, Monday Night Football, another embarrassing primetime performance. And then he wakes up this morning, and whether it's a conversation with his quarterback or just him saying, we need to go get Devante Adams. And he thinks that that's going to be the difference when it is, in fact, not going to be the difference. He just doesn't get it.
It doesn't end, man. It's funny, and I know I've said this a few times, but we all love him. And I'm sure Joe will be on with Evan and Tiki later, so you have a little share of Joe later. As much as I love Joe, and I played golf with Joe, I really love Joe as a human. He's a great guy. And I listen to him like everybody else. For years, as much as I love him, I'd say, Dad, this guy's just so damn negative. He's right. All these years, Joe's a smart one in the room. He's right.
I want to be here for you today as your partner. I want to be able to help you get through this. Because, like I said, I've been able to see through this. I don't have that attachment that you do to this team, believing in your team. I respect that belief. And I do think that there was some reason to finally believe.
Well, it was rooted in a pretty talented roster. I mean, it's not like I'm sitting there with, 4 turnstiles on the O-line and, Tim Boyle's still trying to throw it and Jeremy Curley is the number 1 receiver.
Right, I get it. There was
some talent. They still do.
There was some talent, but there was a lot of hope sprinkled in there.
Well.
And now at 2-4, again,
yeah. Go ahead. Finish.
I'm serious. I want to help you.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm serious. I want to help you understand.
I'm beyond help. You can't help me. Nobody can help me. Nobody can help us. And who's going to help us?
The first step.
Where's the help come from?
The first step is acknowledgement. So once you acknowledge,
I acknowledge. I hate them.
Right,
There's the acknowledgement.
But once you acknowledge
that, Woody's the worst owner of football. Acknowledgement number 3.
Right, and
what else do you
acknowledge that the foundation is broken.
Oh yeah, foundation's it's never broken. It's never built.
There's not going to be a Super Bowl. You get that?
That I refuse to say. I got to listen.
I didn't say divisional playoffs yet. I was going to get there.
We're playing until January. Yeah, no kidding, idiot. The Super Bowl's in February, you dope. Listen, what do you want me to say? I know Jet fans are riled up. That is crazy with the Devante Adams. What's up there?
Can I ask a question? Because I'm being serious here.
Yeah.
You fire Saleh. Who, if they don't make the playoffs somehow this year, Douglas is probably gone.
Let's end the probably. Gone.
By the way, do we even know Joe Douglas wants to be back?
Well,
do we want him back? Do we want him back is the question. But here's a real... Is Rodgers going to be here at the end of the year?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
What are we doing here?
That's a great question, and it's probably one that we're going to have to attack with vigor if this thing keeps going the wrong way. which, spoiler alert, probably will. But now that Adams is coming here, do I think that maybe incentivizes Rodgers? Because I would imagine there's going to be a restructure with Adams, a year tacked on. We got to get the additional contract, which he's not coming here. He's going to get another year, I promise you, and a few more bucks. And I think because of that, Rodgers will probably will definitely want to play with his buddy. But at that point, what's it mean? He's 41 next year.
I got something on the details, by the way.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so Schefter puts out it will be for a conditional third-round pick that can go to a second-round pick.
So it's done?
Based on production. Okay.
Expected to get finalized today.
Okay, and no update on like when he's going to be here, when he'll play. You would expect he might be able to play Sunday night.
I think the hamstring was kind of
fake thing.
You keep me off the field. Oh yeah, I mean you get him in the building tonight. He's definitely going to play Sunday. But
I'm seeing some regeneration in you.
Listen, dude, come on. You've known me long enough. By the time Sunday rolls around, now everything I said, I stand by.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not. I'm not going to deviate from that. They got pushed around last night. They were soft.
They did run the football a little bit
I know
better.
they did. I thought that they would. But Breece Hall not lowering his pads at the 3 when he had a 35-yard head start. It's unacceptable. And all the other things I hit. I don't need to be repetitive. By the time Sunday comes around, because I'll be riding high on my Yankees, feeling extra good as we get ready to dust those chumps maybe in 4 or 5. I will be feeling really giddy on Sunday night. So, I mean, by the time they kick off on Sunday, I'm sure your partner's going to be a little bit better than right now. But right now is actually the real emotion. The Sunday emotion's going to be a fake one.
BT and Sal on the Fan.